The Cultural Council's mission is to nurture, promote, and support a healthy, diverse, and inclusive cultural sector so that the arts and culture are a part of everyday life for everyone. We invite listeners to discover Florida's cultural capital online at palmbeachesculture.com. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the ArtiGras Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah LaPierre, and I'm here today with two exciting guests here to talk with me and us about the upcoming Jupiter HarbourFest in Jupiter, Florida. This is a new event that you guys have got coming up. It's going to be music, amazing food, a local market, and yeah, I've got lots of questions for both of you. So welcome, Brian Elkins and Samantha Russell. Thank you guys for being here today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Samantha, you are our artist, our local musician, headlining. You're playing Sunday at the festival. It's a 2-day event, and it's going to be a ton of music. And Brian, you have a long history of events here in Palm Beach County, right? Mm-hmm. Starting, I know you from ArtiGras and Sunfest, but I'm sure there's many other events that you've been involved in over the years. Mm-hmm. So we're going to kind of get a little bit of both the performing and maybe a little bit of behind the curtain of what it takes to kind of host and prepare for these kind of events in our area. So without, further ado, I have questions for both of you right off the bat, which is Palm Beach County has such a unique kind of arts scene. If you could describe it to me in 3 words, what would those words be?
I'd almost say 3 words: vibrant, collaborative, and evolving. So it's huge. Our art scene in this area, it almost feels like every other weekend there's a different art festival or somebody having an art gallery or opening or something like that. And then it's highly collaborative. Everybody's reaching out to everybody. You yourself, artists, everybody's always at different festivals or different venues or helping each other out. So, and then it's just growing. And it's just changing. It's changing very quickly too. Just how everybody does different festivals or just the scene itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great answer.
It's funny because I was going to say the same thing about the same thing. I was going to say vast concentration and diversity because you could go to a piano lounge on a Tuesday night and then on a Wednesday go to Double Roads and do line dancing and have a country band. So it's just so vast, the music scene and the whole art scene around here.
Yeah, you could find there's a little bit of something for everybody here, and it is evolving, right? Mm-hmm. I've seen so much. I've been a lifelong resident of Palm Beach County, and I've just seen an immense amount of change, especially within the last 10 years has been huge, and it's so exciting. So now we've got another event to look forward to, this Jupiter HarbourFest that's coming up in October. So it is a kind of 2.5-day festival, right? We've got a kickoff on Friday, and then it goes into a full 2 days of the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, of just some amazing music, some great food, local markets, and then the opportunity to kind of, hang out around these other local businesses, great restaurants. There's going to be drinks, waterfront. Waterfront. It's a gorgeous venue. So, man, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. We got so much to talk to, but I want to know a little bit more background about the two of you first. So, Samantha, you have been in the Samantha Russell Band since 2010. I need to look at my notes. Is that right?
Well,
yes.
According to my website, but okay. I've been singing since I was 5, so I've had different versions of the Samantha Russell Band. My dad created my whole band when I was 13 years old, so I've been on stage since I was 5. But different variations, but definitely in the local scene here with my own band at ArtiGras and different different big festivals since about 2010.
And now, is there a genre that you really are known for, or you kind of like to spread into a lot of different areas?
I grew up on country, 90s country. I have a new tribute that is the tribute to the leading ladies of country music.
Love.
So that's what kind of got me into the music industry, because that's where my heart and soul was. But I do everything from country to rock to pop. So I'm a huge Tom Petty fan and Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks. So I like a variety of music.
Amazing. And then, you've traveled all over the place. Like, yes, you play a lot of local venues that people might recognize, Tiki 52, Guanabanas, but you also travel and go on tours. So what keeps you rooted in the Palm Beach County scene and keeps you coming back here?
So here in South Florida, we have a diverse fan base that supports live music. And not just for my band, but all the bands locally here. And the South Florida fans are amazing. That's what keeps me coming back to South Florida. I love to travel, as a lot of my friends and other bands will say, like traveling outside and seeing the new faces, enjoy your music, and really dance and sing along is really cool. But like coming back to South Florida with those diverse fans, and that fan base is really what grounds me here.
That's awesome.
And all the awesome festivals that we have here.
Right? Yeah. so much opportunity to get into various ways of performing.
Yeah.
Whether that's events or at, you're at restaurants.
Local bars, restaurants. Yeah.
Absolutely. So Brian, I already mentioned you've been a part of events like ArtiGras and Sunfest, and these are huge major events for our area. And you've been with them for years. What first pulled you into that world?
So for years, I was more on I want to call it the other side of it. So I was like a vendor at various events, whether it was the South Florida Fair or other smaller, like local kind of green events, kind of so to speak. So, and then I got into volunteering, like Sunfest had an opportunity to volunteer. So I was like, let me go try volunteering. From there, I just jumped into working on one of the committees. So then I was like a volunteer coordinator for that committee, which was the Gates Committee at Sunfest. So, and I loved it. It was just the energy, and I love people watching. Yeah. So a lot of times,
my God, best places forever.
And a lot of times, and a lot of times you'll see me more behind the scenes. Yeah. And sometimes I'll even just sit on a golf cart and just watching people coming in and just the energy, and everybody's excited when they're coming into the gates. So, and that just really, it was, at the time we called it the Sunfest bug. So it was like, oh, okay, now I got this itch. I have to come back every year. And it became a family. Yeah. So you see the same volunteers, the same committee members, we all come together, and it was hundreds of us that just came together every year. And then from there, a few of them were like, oh, why don't you do ArtiGras with us? So, and the same, because you see a lot of the same, I almost say they're like career volunteers. So, and they all like jump from one event to the next. And from there, it just grew into this massive thing. So, and I had the opportunity to get a job. And now I oversee ArtiGras, which I think is one of the best things ever for me. So,
well, I could definitely say from being on the, the participant side of ArtiGras, it's definitely one of the best things for ArtiGras too, that you're a part of it.
Thank
and
you.
I have literally seen some of those volunteers since I was a kid, since I was attending Sunfest and ArtiGras with my dad. I have grown up with a lot of these people and seen them every season. And it's like a big family, because the artists too, we follow these show circuit. If you're a festival artist, if you're one of those shows artists, you'll end up seeing a lot of the same people, you're just following that track of shows. So it's great. It's such a unique community and a wonderful way to get into, supporting yourself as a professional artist, whether that's on the music side or the visual arts. Or, the culinary arts that we have now at ArtiGras, right? These different areas of showcasing creativity. It's exciting. It's energetic. It's a great way to connect community and really show off like all this phenomenal creative power we have here in Palm Beach Gardens, because there's so much of it.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I definitely want to look behind the curtain a little bit on like more event production stuff, because that's always fascinating to me. And Samantha, you've opened for bands like Chicago and Dierks Bentley. I wanted to know, do you have like a really memorable moment, like maybe a backstage something?
So it's a really hard one because I've been doing a lot of opening acts over the years. So I definitely have a couple of those. I would say Chicago, I got an opportunity to have them signed a guitar for a charity, which is really cool. I was telling you earlier that I'm a huge part of charity work and a lot of charity events. So that was pretty cool. And to be backstage and kind of on the side of the stage on the cases and watching from behind, there's something different about that whole scene. Everybody was really cool. And that was actually in the Keys. In a private community in the Keys that we opened for them years ago. I have to say my most recent backstage moment, I told you I'm a huge 90s country girl, country fan. Right. I went on a 2-week road trip with my fiance just a couple days ago. And we went to Nashville, and I'm a huge Reba fan, and I grew up on Does He Love You? And we went to go see Linda Davis, which a lot of people don't know, but she's Hillary Scott, Lady A's mom, from the band Lady A. So I also sing a couple of their songs in my band. So we went to go see her at a restaurant, and my fiance said, hey, she does a Women of Country tribute in South Florida. And she's like, really? And she hugged me, took a picture, super, super sweet, super nice. And at the end of the show, she goes, well, I'm hoping she won't turn me down, but I hope she comes up here and does a little bit of Does He Love You? And I gotta say, I don't get nervous that often with all the big shows I have, but I was pretty nervous, and he filmed it, and he's like, I'm gonna put it on YouTube. So, but it was quite a cool backstage kind of moment for me, like kind of singing a little bit of like my idol.
Right, yeah. So a meet your hero moment. That's like
definitely
really
a meet your hero. And she's like telling me all about Hillary's new baby that she has and all the pictures that she had in her phone. It was like we were best friends. Yeah. And it was just so cool. That, and like Nashville, like you were talking about the local vibe here and everybody getting along. It was like that cool Nashville vibe. I felt like I was kind of one of them for a second, like she's like, I'll bring this South Florida girl to a little bit of Nashville. Yeah. So it was really cool. That's cool. Backstage recent moment that I had.
I love that. Okay, so I want to take a minute then and ask you about the charitable event that you do. And it's an annual event, right? It's Girls Rock.
Yep.
So can you tell me more about that?
It's at Tiki 52. It benefits the Sari Center. I started it 3 years ago because one of my very good friends, Amy, was battling breast cancer, and I asked her where she got her treatment, and she started telling me about the local Sari Center and how much they help her not only from a medical standpoint, but therapy for family, her family. And
they're an incredible resource here.
Said, hey, what can I do? Let's do something music related. And I have a lot of girlfriends in the area, and I said, let's change it up every year and have girls rocking for a charity, and let's do it in October so we can benefit breast cancer in honor of my friend Amy. So we just had a meeting last night. It's a month away from today, and we're looking forward to raising money here locally again for the 3rd year in a row.
That's wonderful. I love that. That's fantastic. I mean, this is just, again, like Brian said, the community collaboration action, right? Like you get to support the areas that need it and that mean something to you and your friends and your people, and they get to support your music in turn. It's wonderful. So this is kind of a question for both of you. So whoever wants to take this first, what makes these live performances and events worth all of the major production time and hours that you are putting into them?
You're going through this now, so I'll let you answer this first. So I'll tell you from a stage standpoint.
I mean, seeing the people's faces, especially when they leave the night, it's like really amazing to see like their faces, their excitement, because it's not like their energy is dissipating. If anything, it's like amped up at that point. So I think that's one thing I love seeing. I also love seeing people discover new things. So like one thing I love is seeing people go to, let's say, a music event or something like that. Maybe they're not into that genre of music, but all of a sudden they learn a new artist or they learn a new thing. And it's like, that's what I'd love to see. Like at ArtiGras, we also have what do you call it? The art wall, we call it. Yeah. So it's like everybody can have their creative outlet, whether, you had us do it. So it's like
there's a little interactive element that people can get into.
And that's what I think is great about it. And in the kids area there, we always had a sand pile. Why a sand pile doesn't really fit, but hey, kids love it. And their parents are having a good time, just like watching their kids have fun running through the sand.
Yeah.
So
when we played last year's ArtiGras, that it's on the same point that I was actually going to say. They had the whole kids art wall.
yes.
So as we were performing right before they had the awards there and all, and seeing the artwork was amazing from those kids. I was like, wow, this is awesome. And that's another good point. Like for me on stage, it's seeing the little kids dance and them enjoy the music and really love the whole vibe of the whole festival is just, it makes all the prep worth it, for sure.
Right. Yeah. And that there's a space for that there's like, it's a very welcoming environment to everybody, to families as well. And that, kids are encouraged to kind of be a part of this very, fine arts setting, really, and get to a chance to play. And I think that ultimately encourages adults to play too. Like so much of, the environments that are strictly curated for adults have like a tone of seriousness to them. That's like, we need to play too. So when you have a space that involves everybody like that, I think it just encourages this like relaxed environment where people get to feel more comfortable about engaging, whether it's dancing to the music or, talking to an artist about the work they created or, seeing some of the student art or, maybe building a fantastic sandcastle in the sand pile. I don't know. There's all sorts of things just for people to enjoy. Brian, I wanted to ask you, because good event production is so often like unseen if it's done very well, like people aren't noticing all of the things that you're doing. So what can you tell us about like what's one thing that people maybe don't realize about the event production side and what leads up to a new event, especially like Jupiter HarbourFest?
Probably the amount of time. The planning. It's definitely doesn't happen in a month. Doesn't happen in 2 months. Like HarbourFest has been ongoing for almost 2 years. It's been something we've been working on trying to develop and get those partnerships in line. And then just sometimes it's even just learning. Like I didn't know. I mean, and we have people that help us. I'm like, where do we get a stage? How do we find and also for the location we're going to be at, we're like, how do we get a stage in there? Because it's a tight, so it's those little things, and it's learning like little key things, but it's definitely a collaborative effort, and it's just reaching out to the community and like who has this, who has that, and then just slowly building out those relationships. But yeah, it's a lot of planning. Oh, it's a lot of planning.
Yeah, literal years in the making, right? Just to do the first one,
and even just find volunteers.
Yeah.
So because things have changed. A lot of people don't see volunteerism like they used to. So it's trying to reach out and find those volunteers that are interested.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is okay. I think I want to do this. So, and then reaching out to bands and, getting their interest. And it's slowly building, especially for a first year. A lot of people are like, I don't know if I want to go to that. It's a first year. Let me wait till next year.
Yeah.
So, but that's finding those people that trust. And a lot of people are like, oh, we know you guys, you put on other festivals. So, I mean, I will say that makes it a little easier for us.
Sure.
Because they know we have passion in it. Yeah. So we're going to make it. So, and that's also doing this, you have to have that passion. Yeah. You have to have that urge, that need to do this. So having that, I think, helps a lot. So
that makes sense. Yeah. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of, I'm sure, like nerves and like pre-event,
definitely.
Do you get to like breathe a little bit after the event's over, like you decompress that Monday? I hope so, man.
Yes. Sometimes even that night, that Saturday night, it's like okay, we got through the first day.
Yeah.
Usually once you get through the first day, it's like, okay, this is working. Yeah. We're good.
Right.
So
once the gates open, you're like, okay, everything's mostly functioning the way it's supposed to. There's no major fires happening. Like it's all, it's good. I definitely want to talk about HarbourFest and community a little bit more and how those two things are intertwined. Samantha, you're headlining. This is the first of its kind event here. How does it feel to be a part of launching something and maybe hopefully, kind of being a part of helping it grow? As opposed to, joining an event that's been standing for 30 years?
Well, I grew up about half my life in the town of Jupiter. So it feels really cool to be involved in a new event right in my hometown that I live in. And I feel honored to really be a part of it and be able to headline something local in my community.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. And Brian, what was the inspiration behind creating this event? I know you said it's been years in the works already, and it's, kind of been something that you've been working on for a while, but what was the starting point where you said, you know what, I think there's something missing here that we can add?
So that, weirdly enough, we wanted to do something in the town of Jupiter. And at the same time, the town of Jupiter came to us. So they were like, oh, we'd love to have, the chamber put on something. So we were looking, we're like, we have plenty of art festivals. So we already put on 2. We have the ArtiGras and Art Fest by the Sea. Yeah. So we're like, let's try something different. So then we were looking, we're like, there's not really a big music festival up in Jupiter. And then, so we're like, well, let's try that. And then we're like, well, what kind of music? And well, it's Jupiter, country music. So, and that's how it slowly started evolving. And then it was just like, okay, where's a good location? And and it was all those little steps started happening and trying to find each of those little, until it almost became like what do you want to call it? Those cartoons with the snowballs where it starts out little and then grows into this. And it's like, wow, okay, now we have something. We've built this and it's right now it's starting to come to fruition. So I think the one big thing that was like, this is happening when we first saw the logo. So when we finalized the logo, we're like, wow, this is it.
Yeah, and that's the moment where you're like, okay, we got to show people this thing exists now. I love that. So another one for both of you, and you kind of touched on this already a little bit, Brian, but maybe you can expand more into it. When you imagine people walking away from this event, what are you hoping that they feel, that they experience, that they take away from it?
I'm always, especially with like music festivals or art festivals, it's great for them to leave not focused on, granted, I want them to know Samantha Russell Band, but I want them to also just think, wow, that was great music. I want to go back. And I don't want them to go back only because I want to see Samantha Russell. I'd love them to go back just, hey, I just want to go and chill and listen to some fun music. So, granted, of course, we'll have you back, but but it's like I want people to just go to the festival just to have fun and relax and enjoy it. I want them to leave, and knowing they had a lot of fun. Maybe they come back the second day. So, and just like, hey, and I want them to have a sense of ownership too. Like, hey, this is our community's event, not like that event or that event. This is our community event. So
so tell me a little bit, if you can, about like what people can expect to see and experience. Literally, like there's multiple days. So you've got how many bands coming?
So we have 6 bands playing throughout the weekend. So we'll have 3 each day. Really 7 if you include the kickoff.
Right. Okay.
So Friday night we have our kickoff, and that's more about, hey, check out this beautiful location. You maybe you live further south, or maybe you live further north and don't visit this area. Check out all these amazing restaurants and even just shops in this one area. So, and then you can relax and just listen to some fun music. And then between the two main days, Saturday and Sunday, come enjoy some food trucks. Everybody loves food trucks. I mean, I love food trucks.
Absolutely. You already told me, like, before we started recording, TMI is going to be there, and they're like one of the ones that I love and will always go see. So
and then we'll have a lot of like, I want to call it your green market, but we'll have a lot of different vendors there. We have food trucks, get some drinks, try out some, and we have some really cool drinks that'll be made. So maybe some specialty cocktails. So just have a sense of like fun and just relax, and you're right by the water. I mean, how can you beat that? Listen to music right next to the water. Yeah. I mean, that's as Florida gets.
For sure. Nothing wrong with that. And so tell me a little bit more about Friday, right? Because it's the kickoff. There's going to be live music, but you're encouraging people to come experience these restaurants. So I think you said there's going to be like a tasting kind of setup.
So we'll have what we call our tastings. So it's a special ticket you can get. And that basically we have every restaurant in Harborside participating. And it's literally how the name implies. It's a tasting. So you get a little bite and a little drink. So, and then you can just walk around to each of the restaurants. They'll have their signature food and signature drink out there, and just you get an idea of, and each restaurant have their signature things. So it's like they're putting forth their big food that they like or their big drink that they like. So you can get, I really like this restaurant. Or
and there's some great ones in there. You've got Jupiter Grill, you've got Ruth's Chris, and Calaveras is in there.
Tommy Bahama. There's a Mana Greek fusion. So a lot of different foods and a lot of different type of palettes that you could taste. So even Wyndham Grand Hotel is doing their own.
Oh, fantastic!
Because they have a cool little bar. I almost want to call it a speakeasy bar because they theme it out sometimes depending on the holidays. So, but so And again, it's the community. Everybody's having fun and they're getting involved. So
I love that. So Samantha, I do want to come back to you for that question as well. What, when you imagine people walking away from this event afterwards, what are you hoping that they've experienced?
A great time. Awesome. Like Brian already said, waterfront views. I mean, you can't beat that. That's why I live in Jupiter.
Yeah, right.
I love it. I already told you earlier. That's why I stay here. And just a really great time. Great food, music, drinks, cocktails, and just to experience. My fiance and I love going to happy hour to all these different restaurants and experiencing that. So like Brian was saying, to be able to experience maybe a place that you're from Jupiter or Palm Beach Gardens, but you've never been to the New Rose Chris, or you've never been to, you didn't know Wyndham had a speakeasy type of environment thing that they can do, so just that kind of vibe. Yeah. And I like how you guys say the unique Jupiter experience on the website. I think that's a perfect description of the event, to leave knowing you have a unique Jupiter experience and something that will make you want to come back for the next one or the next day.
Yes.
Like Brian was saying,
Yeah, definitely something that encourages people, maybe sparks a little bit of that curiosity to say I didn't know that these kind of things were available to me here, whether that's the restaurant or maybe they discover, a new local performer, local band, musician who they can go find at another venue. I love the idea that these things are happening and you're supporting majorly our local economy by having this kind of event here. So it's exciting to know about that, All right. Well, I've still got plenty more questions, but we're going to take just a short little break and hear from our sponsor. So stay with us while you hear a word from our sponsor, the Cultural Council for Palm Beach County.
Those dinner reservations and tea times will have to wait because there's an art-filled paradise beyond these beaches. A mecca of masterpieces, spectacular sights by day and night. A cultural capital that's calling your name. See so much more than you came for in the Palm Beaches.
Okay, so inspirations, Palm Beach culture, we talked a little bit about the kind of vibe and those three words that you would use to describe things in Palm Beach. Samantha, I want to know your inspirations. You mentioned some already, Tom Petty, 90s country, your influences. So are some of those sneaking into your set list when you perform?
Oh, yeah. So I do a little bit during the whole quarantine period. I was I've tried guitar before and just didn't work out for me. So I was you know what? I love Tom Petty. Let me try a harmonica, see how it would work out. And my fans love it. They're learn another song, but I do a little bit of Mary Jane harmonica playing. So and I love Fleetwood Mac, and I have a little inspiration with my scarves on my mic stand from a little Stevie Nicks. I got to see her live thanks to my duo partner about a year and a half ago down at Hard Rock. So, and I love Dolly and Reba, obviously, for my 90s country group that I have now. So yeah, I have quite a variety of different inspiration from several different artists.
Nice. Now, do you know some of the other groups that are going to be playing at this event?
I don't. I've looked up the one that is from the West Coast area, and they look amazing. I can't wait to hear them.
So some people even that you're excited to see.
Yes,
I
for
love
sure.
that. That's fantastic. Bringing South Florida together. Brian, what's a moment that you've witnessed at a local event where you thought this is exactly what I want to bring to my next, whether it's the HarbourFest or ArtiGras or, whatever event that you're doing? Is there a moment that you caught something recently at another event where you're ooh, I gotta bring that inspo over here?
I want to say it was, there was something I was at a while back, and I want to say it was kind of not so much like a VIP area, but it was a fun little nook. And it was you walk down the street and they had this little nook in this area where it was just kind of everybody, it was just a lot of Adirondack chairs and just a chill vibe area, but it was wasn't near anything. It was just in the middle of nowhere. And it was just and they had they had a bar there, and it was just kind of they had not live music, but just regular music playing there. And it was just this fun little, I want to call it a break area almost.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like this fun little atmosphere that just seemed really cool to have. So it was all in the shade. It was a nice little, but it was like, we tried to do kind of those, but I was like, the vibe just felt different. It was like when you walk by, you felt like, oh, I want to go in there. Yeah. It just seems fun. So
yeah, I love that idea, honestly, because a lot of the shows, you know, and I've been to hundreds, it's kind of, you do see a lot, especially when they're, you know, depending on the location that they're in, everything's sort of tightly placed, and not a lot of extra room is given for like breathing room or a place to sit and relax, especially in South Florida if it's hot and sunny and you can't really, you know, like just chill out for a second, have a drink before you enjoy the rest of the show. So there tends to be a lot of, you know, I'm not going to say like real big rushing, but there are definitely attendees who'd be like, I'm just going to go real quick up and down because it's hot or because, you know, like it gets overwhelming or it gets too loud or whatever, you know, or it's overwhelming visually because I just have to see the whole thing, as opposed to like, if you have these sort of areas that encourage people, relax a little bit, like take your time, like go at a pace that, you know, you don't feel like you have to go do the whole thing in, you know, less than an hour. If you have the opportunity, sit in the shade, have a drink, listen to a little light music. Yeah. Very Florida. I think that's good. I like that idea. All right. So for both of you, what do you think HarbourFest, like, how do you think this is going to stand out from other events, right? Like you said, we have a lot of art shows in our areas. This is more focused on music, certainly. So what do you think is going to be kind of some of the standout elements for us?
You answer that.
I want to say it's solely focusing on, and I say, well, I don't want to just say country, but coastal country. So, and I don't know if there's a festival around here that's, especially in Jupiter or the North area, that really has that coastal country vibe that's right on the water. So, and I think that's what's going to be really cool, is that you're going to be literally like, you're on the water, you're standing and there's a railing and there's I don't know what they call the intercoastal or waterfront right there. So it's the inlet. That's what I was trying to, So it's like, so that I think that's what's going to make it stand apart, is that it's this really fun, relaxed atmosphere. Get some food, get some drinks. If you feel you drink a little too much, there's the hotel right there. So it's like everything's
like that setup. You're completely taken care of right there.
So everything's just all centrally located. So I think that's going to be the fun kind of the atmosphere. And that's what we want it. We want it to be just this fun, relaxed, kind of smooth weekend. So
yeah, that definitely sounds like a standout to me for sure.
The bridge, the boats going by. Vibe,
and I mean, it's going to be, you know, hopefully a very beautiful time of year, right? Like, a great
should be
time.
A little cooler. October in Florida's nice.
And anytime when you're on the water, though, like even for your Sunfest experiences where it's May and it's like, the temperatures are rising, you're on the water and there's a breeze. So I feel like.
And one unique thing about the location is you're under the bridge. There's no sun. You're in the shade the whole time.
I love that.
So it's like you don't even have to worry about the sun. You're in the shade. So that's one really cool thing about this location. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, not that it's not going to be any weather other than sunny, but it also covers in a different way if it's maybe less than sunny. So that's a good thing.
We get that 10-minute Florida shower.
Yeah, Florida, you never know. Events, like we've seen everything. Well, everything but snow. I haven't seen that in a Florida event yet. Never know. I always want to talk about, and this is a little off topic from the event, but it's a question that I ask all of my guests on here. So if you had to name, could be an event, could be a place, a museum, a public piece of art, something arts and culture related, that you think everybody living in or visiting our area should experience, what would you name? What would you tell us? Samantha, you want to go first?
For me, I would say the water. I love, living in Jupiter. We go on the tiki taxi boat. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's tiki taxi. I always get it mixed up, but it's one of our favorites that my fiance and I go on, and just to kind of chill and be able to see the lighthouse. And we're getting married next year, and we chose the lighthouse because it's just so iconic for Jupiter. And I've lived here half my life, and just, I would say, like, definitely experience that inlet vibe with the lighthouse and the whole, coastal kind of South Florida vibe.
Yeah,
is what I would say.
Yeah,
and enjoy the music, of course. Like I told you, like a lot of unique music venues and music places to perform and see all different kinds of music.
Yeah.
So
just before we get to Brian on that answer, what are some of the venues that, whether you're performing or attending, that you enjoy in our area? Because I'm always curious to hear.
Tiki 52 is like family to me.
Yeah.
They're actually doing a reception there for the wedding. I chose them because they are literally like my family.
That's awesome.
I play there about once a month as a duo full band, and the vibe there with it being right on the water is just amazing. I can't really single out any venue because I love all my venues, but that's definitely one of my favorites.
Love it.
And just being on the water and any of the water, I play Banana Boat even in Boynton Beach and Two Georges. They've been family for years as well, and Boynton and in Stewart area. So just like that whole coastal, again, that whole coastal vibe is probably one of my favorite.
We do really have some special spots around
and the
here.
festivals, ArtiGras, obviously, been a part of for several years. And growing up, I played South Florida Fair since I was a kid. So it's just like those staples and festivals that you love, and you get the energy from the kids, dancing around and the whole crowd. It just gives it that awesome vibe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I love it. Brian, that question for you again, I'll remind both of us. What's that, one spot, event, activity, piece of something that you're going to say, if you're visiting, if you live here and you haven't been, you need to go?
And this just from my background or whatever, I'm also a big theater nerd.
Love it.
So I'm always big. And yes, the big theaters are amazing, but I also love going to small theaters. And like we have friends of ours that run Theater Lab, which is a very small local theater. But what I love about them is they do a lot of shows that are not mainstream, or they're not even published yet. So you get to see really cool works and, how they evolve. And so, and that's really one thing. I just love going to the theater. It's fun to see. When I was in high school, I used to perform on the theater, but I also did a lot of the background. So a lot of times when I go to the theater, I'm always looking at the lights and everything.
Yes, the set design, the costumes, like all of those things behind it.
That's what I used to do, the lights. And that's what I always like, man, that would be, so. But no, I always encourage like the theater, like go and see, like that's live theater.
Yeah.
So it's something happens.
You can't not have some level of excitement as an audience member. I mean, Theater Lab's awesome. They're down in Boca. I even like I'm going to forget the name of it, but there's a tiny little theater production in Stewart that I recently went to.
Lyric, maybe?
I go to the Lyric a lot for music. I've never been there for like a theater play production, but I'm talking like we're in a strip mall building. Like the seat has maybe there's 30 seats in the house, like little intimate, but so fun, such a cool experience. Next time I don't remember the name of it, but
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. But those, or even like there's performances at the Rinker, which is like the little theater at the Kravis Center that just have some great shows in there that I love.
And even like right around the corner from where we're doing this, Maltz has some amazing shows.
It's incredible,
and I love because they do everything there. It's not like they're bringing in and they're everything's produced in house.
Yeah.
So things like that, where it's like, it's really cool to just see how it all comes together too.
And actually Andrew Cato is going to come on the shows too.
Awesome.
We're going to talk to him next.
I saw a live circus type of show that was there, like very intimate there. It was really cool.
Yeah. Some awesome productions. So that's another great answer. I love that. We have a lot more local theater than I think some people realize.
And I love black box theaters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's not like there's no real separation. You're in it. Your feet are on the stage. So it's like, that's what I love, those kind of performances. So
that was exciting. Yeah, for real. That's a fantastic answer. So thank you for both of those, because, we always try to encourage and inspire people to maybe step out of their genres. Maybe it's not their kind of music or a venue that they haven't been to before. We always want to, there's a lot of creativity going on here that we can support in different ways. Some of the other ways is advice. So I always like to ask, the guests who come on, what would you be, what advice might you give a up and coming somebody, younger, kind of starting out, getting their feet wet, feeling like they want to get into more live performing in this area, what would you
I started off doing karaoke out in Loxahatchee. My dad would bring me to the karaoke shows, and then a couple bandmates from local bands were like, you need to be up here with us and, sneak it into a song or two. So if I give any advice to anybody up and coming, I would say, do what you love, get up there, try to sing when and where you can, and any opportunity you have. Practice makes perfect. Yeah. Always practice. And just get out there, because that's the biggest thing, is just get out there. And whether it's open mic night or karaoke, or, someone with a guitar, or Linda Davis says, hey, come up and do Does He Love You with me? Right. Yeah. Just, you never know what opportunities might be out there. So, it's always important to just get out, enjoy our local music scene, and get out there and sing and entertain and do what you love to do.
Yeah. And I imagine that just keeps building up the energy, right? Like the more you get out there and do it, whether it's at, open mic, karaoke, like getting those little tastes and realizing like that's your passion, that you'll be more inspired to keep searching for those connections, and the possibilities just keep coming. So yeah, that's great advice. Brian, what would you say to somebody maybe who's kind of thinking about whether it's starting as a volunteer, or they're interested in getting into more, community events, and potentially, want to be on a committee, want to have involvement in kind of these festivals that are happening in our area or other spaces?
Honestly, like you said, volunteer. Yeah. So contact the event director, whoever that may be, and just volunteer. And then you'll grow, and eventually you'll get on committees. You'll learn this, and it also gives, I even tell students this all the time, is volunteer at even businesses, whatever, because you may be like, oh, I wanted to be this when I grew up. And then you volunteer. Oh, I don't like that anymore. Or it's not what so they thought it was. So,
right.
So definitely take that time and volunteer and ask questions. A lot of people that are in this industry are willing to answer questions. They want to help grow. Like, I always want more younger blood, we call it. So it's like, because people are going to retire. People are going to be like, I can't do this anymore. But we always want that younger blood to come in and experience it and learn. So it just helps out as well, because they'll bring in fresher ideas. They'll bring in newer ideas. So and that's what's great about it, is volunteer, get involved, and grow with the event, because you'll grow with it, and eventually you'll be, oh, I'm overseeing this section of the festival now. Hey, I got this idea to do this, and then run with it, and then eventually it's like, you know what, they're really good, and then they can take that and bring that to either create their own event or get a job producing events and use that knowledge and that experience from it.
Yeah, a lot of room for growth, right? And development, and even finding out what areas of event production, management, any of that you might really be more, apt for or interested in. So,
and if it's one thing about festivals, we're always willing to try new things, see if this works, see if that works. I mean, it's always, hey, we're going to try it out.
I do really like that, creatively. I like that kind of like experimental side of it, right? Like, there's certain times when I've approached different events they might reach out to me for having a booth or doing something. I'm like, well, what if we do it this way? What if we try something a little different that gives people a different experience or a way to connect or something like that. And, events are often like, yeah, we'll try that. Like, sure, why not? So I do think it's a really fun, creative environment where there's just things that you're willing to be like, yes, let's see how people respond, and why not try something creative. So great advice. Get into some volunteering. And if people want to volunteer for Jupiter HarbourFest, is that something that you're looking for still?
If they're interested in volunteering, contact me directly. We don't have a big need for volunteers at this particular festival, so it's very minimal. Yeah. It's not like ArtiGras where we have this and this and this.
I mean, ArtiGras has 300? But like, is there more? I don't even know the number of volunteers required. Like, it's huge.
300 or 400 actual volunteers. And then you get into like, oh, we have this many shifts, but a lot of the volunteers work multiple shifts, or I have some that'll work all day, and I'm like, I don't want you to like burn yourself out, but hey, I appreciate it. So, but just contact me. We are looking for a couple. And it's not something I'm advertising, because we're not looking for a huge amount, maybe one or two to help out here or there. Nice. So,
Love it. All right. Well, we talked about, I feel like a great deal about this festival and how people, we're hoping that they get this wonderful takeaway from it and what they can experience. Is there anything that I did not ask that you're really excited about for this festival? Is there any other details that we might want to know, or anything you want to let viewers know, about what the experience might be like, or how they can, get into this event?
I'm trying to think.
I think we touched base.
Yeah.
All right. So I did my job.
Okay, get your tickets.
Okay. So that's it then. Where can we get tickets? How can people connect ahead of time? Is there, I don't know if there's social media for this yet.
So there's social media, there's websites. So our website is the Jupiter HarbourFest.org.
Okay. Fantastic.
So, and just go to the website, and it has so much information on there, and we're constantly updating with more and more and more. So things like
also like, people are always asking about parking for events. Like they can find that kind of information online, timing, dates, ticket pricing. Sign up. Absolutely. Get excited for who's going to show up. And then are tickets available at the gate as well, or they'll
be available at the gate.
Awesome.
But I always recommend get it early.
Yeah.
That way it's going to save you time. It's going to save you hassle and
don't have to wait in a line anywhere.
Exactly.
You can just get in. Cool. All right. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for both coming on here and telling me about this event. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's something, that Jupiter's going to definitely get excited about, like the genre of music, the location, the food. It just sounds like a perfect blend to me, and the time of year. Like it's just going to be great.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you again for sharing the time with me today and with our audience. I appreciate you both coming on here, for leaving your mark on the canvas too. And I look forward to seeing this event, hearing the awesome music, and getting that great experience of the Jupiter HarbourFest. It's going to be great. Tell us the location one more time, because I know we've said HarbourFest a bunch, but I want to make sure people obviously know it's in Jupiter, but the location is...
So the location is the Plaza Down Under, where if you know where Harborside Place is,
yes,
it's right there.
Perfect.
So
under the bridge.
Under the bridge. Okay.
So if you go over Indiantown Bridge, you're literally on top of it.
Awesome. Okay, great. All right. Well, I think that about covers it. I just want to say again, as always, thank you to our audience. Thank you for checking this out. We'll have some links in the description below so you can easily find Jupiter HarbourFest, where to buy tickets, all the information. I hope you come out and check out Samantha Russell Band and the rest of the amazing artists that are going to play at this event. And I will see you next time on the ArtiGras Podcast.